Adam Walter here with Virtual C, and I want to give you the weekly update for the VEP. Unfortunately, last week I completely forgot to record the session, so you just get my pretty face instead of Skip and I talking this time. But what we covered was some of the important features that came out in the MSPL platform, and some of the things that I've been waiting for a while. It's going to make things a lot better for you and for your clients and for presentations, making things simpler, making the reports more viewable so it's not so cluttered with historical events, and also making the reports a lot more versatile. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of a two-part here is that I'm releasing the new Office 365 audit this week, as well as I'm going to showcase some of the features that the Office 365 audit takes advantage of. I still have to create the training video for the Office 365, so you probably won't see it before Thursday. But at the Thursday session, I'm hoping to unveil that, get it in everybody's account so you can start taking advantage of it immediately. As well as I'll be talking about some of these features at tomorrow night's event at 6 o'clock Central, where we will be going through some of the new features with Danish, and he's going to talk to us about other things that are going on with Managed Services Platform, and we're just a small part of that. We're just taking advantage of all of this stuff, and so I want to showcase that for you right now and how you can use this to impress your clients. So we come over here, and what you guys see is the Office 365 report. Now, I still need to make this video and update it so that it takes advantage of the new stuff. But what you see is now you can hide and move sections around. So, hey, you're done with that video, throw it down to the appendix or just get rid of it. You know, you can just delete it right away. Most of you will just delete it when you see it, but now you can actually save it for other employees who need to go through the video and just be through the guide. Now, what you should really notice here is what I just did, is I moved an entire section of the report just by scrolling down. You no longer have to move things up and down manually like you used to. You can now just toss them down into the appendix. What you'll see is a nice little section for appendix. You'll see a section for main, and you're going to see some great features throughout here. So if you don't want to use one of these, if you don't go through the assessment scores, throw it down. So within the Office 365, a lot of this should look familiar to you. This is a tool that a lot of people are using to make sure that their clients are aware of all the features that are out there and additional ones that they could be purchasing. And so what we have here is this nice little audit, this usual strengths and weaknesses. If you don't want to use this, again, just do what I did earlier. Hide it, throw it into the appendix. Done. Now your report is simpler. Now, some of you are using these questionnaires, and this is something you should absolutely be doing with your clients to show value. Now, what we got to do here is you're going to see something new in the Office 365. So in there, they have allowed us to do nice little preambles to these things. So what I do now is when you share a questionnaire, you're going to be able to break it out, and it's going to have a nice little intro to it. Now what I've done is I've added nice little genially intros that explain the value of looking at additional features in Office 365. So you could be sitting in a room with your clients, you could be sending this to them as kind of a pre-sales thing or whatever you want. The advantage is you have something very visually striking to sit in a room with that you can use to facilitate the conversation you're having. This isn't just a static report anymore. With a questionnaire, it's now a dynamic report with a dynamic questionnaire that you can run through with your client. And so you'll ask your questions and have this conversation like, which ones are you doing currently? And then they're going to be seeing things that they would like to do. And you can add a note here saying, please look into this. And you can continue going on through and marking down categories that they're using, or maybe your internal processes, they're allowed to select things that they would like to use. You're going to go all the way through this and have that conversation with them. And once you get to the end, you're going to see a nice little thank you note that just lets them know like, hey, thanks for what's going on. So while you're talking to them, they're going to, what are we going to do next? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to review what we went through today. We're going to come up with a series of recommendations for you and get your approval. Once we have your approval, we're going to move into the implementation stage. All this stuff should look familiar. This is a standard deployment strategy. And you can use this and keep this up in the background for your clients to be seeing a nice little visualization while you're talking about the next steps. But once you have that finished, you close it out and you refresh your report, and now you have a nice little completed document. And then at the top, you want to throw in a measurement, you can. But from now on, you're not going to want to scroll through all this stuff. You may want to like check a box here for a future statement thing, something you want to add to the deployment schedule. Just go ahead and do that at this point. But what you can do thanks to the new features is now we're done with this statement. Now we can take the audit assignment and it's done. It's in the appendix. We already did that. We don't need to talk about it anymore. We now have the measurement of personal productivity, team productivity, business productivity becomes the focus of this report. They're at 57% adoption of your Office stack. They know they want to get a little higher. They want to adopt Microsoft Teams. They want to bring in some BI reporting tools, and you're going to get those ready for them. And that's, they know they'll be up to here at the end. And so the other thing you can do is, as part of the appendix, you can grab a nice little tool for the opportunity discovery. Some of you are already using this. For those of you not using the Office 365 tool, this is essentially a slider where you can go, hey, look, let's measure their productivity, have this conversation, and it'll adjust how much their unproductive employees are costing. And you'll notice in the visualization I had earlier that there was a cost or an unproductive employee illustrations up above. This is just helping you synergize there. It's augmenting your conversation. So the end's like, oh my gosh, it really is costing us money. And once you're done with that conversation, or maybe you don't want to have that, you notice that this is the opportunity discovery section. You can always hide that and again, throw it in the appendix. You're already done, you've assessed them there. And then you've got your, when are you going to deploy these things? If you want to mark down how much it's going to cost for deployment, you can. You can say it's going to cost, $500 to have somebody come in and determine how to use to-dos and Outlook tasks. When are you going to do that? And when is it going to be done? Plan it, approve it, complete it. This is a very easy way to track what's being done every quarter. And then you get your nice little project scopes down here. Some people like these. Some people think they're just white noise. I think they're white noise. I think you should just throw these at the end because you should be having these conversations face to face with them. But if you want to fill out and pad that stack of papers you're going to hand to them, go ahead. More power to you. Another tool that you have and you still have that you can use is how much savings and an ROI for what they're buying. Again, all these are going to be available inside the appendix. They'll all be down here. You grab the tool that's going to work for your meeting. And when you see the tool that you want to use, drag it up here, unhide it, and you're done. So this is some of my favorite features of Office 365, of MSPL that we're able to take advantage of now. I like simple reports. Your clients like simple reports. We don't want to put them into analysis paralysis. We want to give them the option to make their own decisions on their terms so that they can feel like the heroes of their own story. And so by making it simple, by putting things down that are white noise or tools that you used in an earlier conversation, throw them down to the appendices, and then have your actual meeting items up here. And you will get a lot more confidence out of your clients. So when you come down to it, I usually throw my meeting agenda down here, unless you absolutely need that meeting agenda up on the screen behind you. I usually keep my executive summary out. I keep my assessment scores up. It's usually in the background while I'm talking. And I might even throw my roadmap up here so that they're constantly looking at what's coming up and asking questions. Anyways, that's the update for this week. Enjoy the new features. You should see more of our reports coming out that take advantage and are able to be moved around very quickly for whether or not you're going to do a QBR, a weekly, a monthly, an annual, or just a spot check meeting. You can customize a report in less than a minute to what your presentation is going to be. Well, I hope to see you guys all this Thursday at our next meeting where we should be talking about a few more features, and we're going to be talking about how we adjusted the annual strategy guide and how you can make that into a QBR as well. You guys have a great week.